Welcome to the Rocket Roof Show, where we equip fellow roofers to do more commercial business every first and third Thursday of the month. It's time to launch your business to the next level.
This is Project Command. Stand by our power transfer.
3, 2, 1. Blast off!
Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Rocket Roof Show with your host, Andy Neer here. Today I have a guest with me that has been doing marketing specifically for commercial roofing companies for many years. And I've been wanting to get her on this show for a while, but she's pretty busy. So we were able to do that today. And so I want to welcome Meg Sabatino to the show today. That's how you pronounce your last name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you and your husband worked together on this company that you've been working with for a while, but you've been in the trenches working with commercial roofing, marketing, and all the facets with marketing for many years. Can you just share a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was 16, a long time ago, I got a position with one of my friend's parents' companies in the construction industry, and that kind of set everything off. I started doing office management type work, and then by the time I was 22, I was the general manager of a roofing company. So that, as you know, is a lot, especially for a 22-year-old to handle. But I just slowly kept working my way up. Luckily, about 5 years ago, I met Jonathan Kine and transitioned from the actual management side of things more towards helping multiple contractors with their marketing services.
Yep. So that makes sense why, I've been using you for marketing for a while, but it makes sense because when I talk to you about roofing, you're pretty familiar with the jargon, with the lingo. And so that's nice to know when you're actually creating posts, creating copy, creating dialogue with building owners that you're familiar with the lingo.
Yeah.
So
Very
working with Jonathan and early on when you did that company, how has your relationship developed and allowed your other brands to flourish? Because I know you've developed several brands and several different things as you've developed that company. There were other things that you were able to offer. How has that happened? How has that relationship developed and allowed your other brands to flourish?
Yeah, so it was great. Jonathan really let me hit the ground running and took a lot of feedback. So I started with Top Roof Marketing, and then that kind of spilled over to help the Choice Roof Contractor Group. Obviously, you're very familiar with that. Yep. So we worked together on building that brand, and that opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I was able to be a published writer in a magazine for Coatings Pro magazine one year. And then I think about 2 years ago, I reached out to Jonathan and wanted to start a whole different brand. So thankfully, that skill set that I had acquired with Choice Roof Contractor Group and Top Roof Marketing led into starting Top Roof Contractors, which I personally am very proud of that company and what it does for contractors. Now,
correct me if I'm wrong. That particular brand spawned out of a need, it wasn't, let's start a new company. If I remember right, it was, you had all these business owners coming through your website that you didn't design it for that, but because of the reach you were getting on all your SEO and all the exposure you were getting on the internet with your normal marketing, for some reason, the building owners were drawn to that, and that's not what it was originally designed for. But I remember you talking to me early on, thinking we've got to create something for these building owners to go to, and we didn't have anything at the time, and so enter Top Roof Contractor Leads.
Yeah, it really was a need. There are a lot of people wondering who can they trust, right? There's tons of contractors out there, you know that, and it was really about helping building owners find somebody that they could trust, and then also helping contractors get those leads that they knew were properly vetted and were actually real, without putting you up against, 5 other competitors for that lead. So we really help serve both of the niche needs that were out there.
So I kind of want to do a disclaimer right here real quick, because I don't want people listening to this think, oh, great, this is just a advertisement or promotion for Choice Roof Group and Top Roof Marketing and all that. I don't want it to be that, because there's a lot of other great marketing companies out there that will help you.
For sure.
But what I'm afraid of is a lot of the best ones have low exposure. They have a certain amount of clients that they can help, and they help the best ones. My fear is I see a lot of contractors, they get courted or led on by these big guerrilla marketing companies that make all these outlandish promises, and all these dollars that can be made and all these leads that are promised, and then they give them money and they never show up. So I just want to give that preface here that that there are a lot of smaller companies out there that they're just not willing to take on thousands and thousands of clients, but they're very good. So I just wanted to say that real quick here. The next question is, working in a male-dominated industry, which commercial roofing and all kinds of roofing, very male-dominated. But I have seen a lot of women flourish in it. In fact, 15 years ago, I had the privilege of working next to a Puerto Rican lady that was my sales manager, and she outsold all the guys. And that's where I learned there are women that can definitely excel in this industry. And so I want to ask you, how has that been a challenge for you, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so over the last, I'm really going to date myself here. It's been almost 20 years. The industry has definitely changed a lot. At first, it was a lot harder to be heard, especially coming in trying to be a manager of a company that is super dominated by men. And truth be told, I had experiences where men just flat out wouldn't work for me. I would try to give them sales leads whenever I was a manager or help set their schedules, and they just wanted nothing to do with me. Thankfully, since then, the industry has improved quite a bit for women, and it is a great opportunity for women to flourish, especially if you know what you're doing. I think that's really helpful, and I think it shows all of the men that are in the industry that women can do it too, and that we are just as valuable. I do think from the sales side of things, we do offer a different perspective. Sometimes women are softer and we explain things a little differently. And I know personally, I've had people come up to me and say, wow, just having you here and having a female perspective has completely changed our ideas and our thought process behind things. So it's definitely changing. I know your daughter, who I've had the privilege to meet, is making, great waves in the industry as well. So it's just nice being able to see women being taken seriously in the industry.
Yep. And, as a roofing company owner of 23 years, I got 2 sons and 2 daughters. I never would have thought that my daughter would have been, both of my daughters are actually involved in the roofing industry, and my sons aren't. So I never would have thought that, so I almost had a bias growing up that, oh, my sons will do this and this and that. And, but now my oldest daughter is actually our office manager and vice president. And if it wasn't for, she's the glue that holds us together in our company and keeps us online. So I do have to say that, I don't know if it's for all women, but they generally have more organizational skills. So that really helps when it comes to forms and protocols and processes. And so, yeah, that's been great. So can you give me a brief overview of the Top Roof contractor leads? Because I know people get slammed all the time with, where am I going to get leads? I need to buy leads. I don't have any exposure in the marketplace. And I know there's a lot of different ways to market, but buying leads is one of those ways to diversify yourself. And so explain to me how that works and what makes you guys special.
Yeah, so Top Roof Contractors, it is a lead generation, but it's also more than that. So what we do is we don't accept every single contractor that wants us to. So it is 100% commercial focused, and we do full background checks. We check insurances. We check everything, because what we're doing is we're vetting you to say, hey, we have properly vetted these. So when leads come in, they're confident that they're getting an actual contractor who knows their stuff. We check references and everything. So another thing that's different, we don't go out and source leads. We aren't cold calling trying to find leads that, you know, a lot of companies out there do when they say, oh, we can guarantee you get 10 leads a week. What are the quality of those leads, right? Like, you're
not setting up appointments, anything like that.
Yeah. So the leads that come in, they've reached out to us. We haven't reached out to them. And so they're very specialized. Once we've done that, we only sell it to one contractor, right? So we all know Home Advisor. They sell it to 5 different contractors. They pitch you out against each other. What's the point? You're wasting your money, because whoever gets there first with the lowest bid, you know, the whole concept was to change the way people feel about the roofing industry, that there's a quality to it, that if you use a quality contractor, you don't need to put them up against, you know, the other 5 competitors. There's one contractor that can do a great job at a great price. And that's what we're trying to kind of change business owners' minds about.
So I'm going to put you on the spot for a second here. You didn't expect this question here. What would draw a building owner to the Top Roof Contractor site? What you said you don't seek them out. Why would they seek them out? And it's really because of what you guys have already done on the front end, right?
Yeah, so we've obviously got a great website and marketing background, right? So that, you know, that's huge for us, and why building owners would come to us. But then also, once they're on the website, a lot of people love the fact that we properly vet people, and so it adds a level of, I don't even know the right word, trust maybe, confidence that when they work with a top roof contractor, they really are working with the best. So thankfully, we do have leads coming in through our marketing, and then we secure them by.
That website's chock full of blogs and articles and resources and information that's kind of focused to the building owner, right? So they stumble on your website and they learn all kinds of stuff that maybe they didn't know that was even on their roof. So I know you've been very good at writing articles for a long. That's what you did for a long time, right? Like write articles and blogs.
I do.
Yep.
I am a writer at heart with a strong marketing background and roofing background.
So how many blogs have you written? How many articles?
Oh my gosh, thousands probably.
I was gonna say it's probably over 1,000.
I've got 20 on my plate this week, so if that gives you, so if that gives you any idea, I think I wrote 10 last week, and so it's constant content generation, and so unique content. We have to run everything through plagiarism checkers.
So next question: do you have any examples of how this has helped a contractor close a sale?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, we have building owners that reach out to us directly, and we gave a lead to one of the contractors in Ohio, and he was a newer contractor, so he didn't have their confidence fully yet, I would say, with building owners. So they reached out to us and they said, hey, what can you tell us about this contractor? Well, thankfully, Max, my husband, knew the contractor really well. He gave them the full background report. He gave them the insurance. He gave them the references. He told them every thing that we did. And by the end of the call, they said, you know what, you changed our mind. We're calling him right now and we're going with him. So the contractor was able to secure the job just because we stood behind him.
Yep.
It was great. Yeah.
And that works also the other way too. We've had contractors that didn't live up to their promises, what they're supposed to do, and they could no longer be part of the group. So I've seen us go through that too.
Those
That's
are harder
awesome.
days for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. But that's really why building owners trust, you know, calling you guys and doing that. So next question, and I have this written down, but you don't just trust Top Roof Carpetings. You help with marketing service as well, right? Like, I mean, you design my website. In fact, I'm probably a pain in the butt because about once or twice a year, I'm like, hey, I want to do a revision on my website. I want this changed to black. I want the font different. And so you guys have been really great. So explain how you help with marketing services and speak briefly on how branding plays an important role when it comes to website, direct mail design, SEO, all that stuff.
Yeah, so obviously having cohesive branding is something huge, and it's something that is never ending. Like you mentioned for yourself, we've redone your website. I don't even know how many times in the last 2 years that I've known you. And we are redoing the Choice Roof Contractor website just because you have to stay current. And that's what building owners expect right now is, unfortunately with COVID, a lot of things are still very digital, and having that really impressive digital presence is something that, you know, it's so beneficial to have right now, just standing behind you. But then again, like you said, you got to pair everything and have a really cohesive brand. So your brochures, your folders, your business cards, your website, they all need to work together and make this really neat package that people trust that you know what you're doing, because if you have good marketing, you know, they know that you have money, even though some websites don't have to cost a fortune. You know, you can have a great website without spending, you know, $10,000-$20,000. It doesn't have to be like that.
Right. So I know we were doing some SEO with you, I don't know, 7 months ago, and just as COVID was starting, or we were doing some other marketing with you too. I think we were doing mailers or something like that. And you had reached out to us and said, hey, you know, this particular type of marketing isn't working. And we're talking with contractors and they're not getting a good response either. We recommend you saving your money there or spending, you know. And so what I really liked was that you guys were active in how my marketing was playing out. And my experience with other marketing companies is, you know, once you spend your money, that ship has sailed. You know, that money is gone. It's gonna, you know, it ain't coming back, and the ball's already started rolling as far as, you know, the marketing that's going out. And you guys are great by just saying, you know, hey, we're working together with you on this. We see that this isn't working. We don't want to spend a bunch of money that ain't gonna do anything. So let's put this on the back burner and let's look at what other strategies we can do with marketing during this COVID. And so that was like March, and so we switched gears early on. And I think there's a lot of roofing companies that didn't switch gears. They were just kind of like hoping that whatever they were doing was going to work. And so I really like the proactive strategy that you guys have with working with contractors. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that too. So, but like I said, what if people were searching for a marketing company to work with that's like yours, but maybe they're in another market or whatever, what tips would you have for new contractors starting out to find a legit company to work with?
Yeah, so the best thing for new contractors starting out is to figure out their budget, right? Like that's got to be the most important thing, because any marketing agency can fit any need for any budget. So if you know you're working with $2,000, that marketing agency is going to be able to give you the best way to spend your $2,000. If you're working with $500, that's going to change things a little bit. You'll probably have more just a nice business card and a brochure. But again, having that understanding of what you're really working with will then help guide how a marketing agency can help you. And you don't need to say right up front, like, hey, I only have $500, right? But you can say, I would like to see what I can fit in my budget. I'm ideally looking for brochures or business cards or direct mail. Like you said, with direct mail, ask the company, did they pull the plug whenever they started seeing that? Are they following trends and things like that? Because that's really important to find out, what are they doing testing wise? How do they know that their results work? And do they have repeat customers that's going to be something that you're really going to want to verify as a commercial contractor starting out is, can I trust these people with my money? Do other people? And so if they have raving fans that are just going on nonstop about them, that have done, you know, multiple direct mail campaigns or have like a really nice website, that's going to speak more than a really cool design that somebody uses once and then never uses again. So that's huge.
So give me a red flag that somebody should look for when they're talking with a marketer. They're going to get leads or whatever it is. And what's a red flag that you hear of? It's like, ooh, that's not good. If a guy says,
yeah. So there's a
paying
couple
full
things.
upfront or something, or
yeah, yeah. If you have to pay everything up front, again, something I personally don't like is that you don't own your own website and that you have to make monthly payments on that.
Yeah.
That to me is a huge red flag. Just, you know, it doesn't take a lot to design a website, and once it's designed, you should own it. There are obviously maintenance costs like search engine and optimization and stuff like that have that monthly maintenance, but that's a huge red flag to me is whenever people force people to just never own their website.
I've heard of people losing their website because for whatever reason they weren't getting the results they wanted, and they talked to their marketer, and then it's like, well, I own your website, and, and then they end up losing it. Yeah,
and that completely destroys somebody's marketing. You know, like if they pull your website down, if you don't own it, that's a huge problem. So that's a big red flag. On the design side, exclusivity. If people can't offer you exclusivity on designs, something we do personally is 2 years exclusivity in your service area. So, you know, a contractor in Texas and one in Florida could be using it, but 2 in Texas can't.
Define exclusivity a little bit. Does that mean like, because guys, people like you have to be creative, and some marketers might use the same template, roofing company after roofing company after roofing. Okay. Yeah.
So we had an issue, gosh, I want to say it was about 2 years ago, where some other marketing company, I won't mention any names, used the same design for, I think it was 4 or 5 companies in the Kansas City metro area. And they sent them direct mail. So all of these business owners had the exact same thing with just the logo swapped out. No company stood out. There was nothing to make you want to call one of those particular ones, because it looked like they all just slapped their logo on something. So design exclusivity in your area is huge. So you don't look like you're using an amateur company to do your marketing.
Yep. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, it's crazy.
Yep. So in closing, if somebody wanted to reach out to you to talk to you about marketing or tips on, I mean, it's everything ranging from SEO to AdWords to website creation, where would they be able to reach out to you? You have a contact?
I'm on Facebook, Meg Sabatino Ogran. I know that's a mouthful. You can also reach out to toproofcontractors.com. I get all of those emails. And then Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm on there. On Instagram, it's Meg Sabatino. On LinkedIn, it's Meg Sabatino Ogran. But yeah, happy to help people grow their businesses, because that's definitely the goal here.
Yep, for sure. Well, thanks for being on with us today, Meg. And it's always a pleasure. And thank you for the tips. And wish you much success in the year. How is 2020 turning out for you?
You know what? It's good. We've still been quarantined, which is a little hard because I know you've been in town a couple times and we've wanted to see you. But other than that, it's been really good. We've had a crazy busy year, so that helps keep the quarantine going.
Yep. So awesome. Well, thanks for being on today, and wish you good success for the rest of 2020.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
You've been listening to the Rocket Roof Show podcast. Be sure to subscribe through your favorite podcasting platforms such as iTunes or Google Play to get the latest episodes as they are launched. For more, please follow us on social media or visit our website at rocketroofshow.com. We look forward to joining you here again soon at the next launch.